All right, guys, I'm not in my driveway, believe it or not. I don't know if you recognize the scenery. Look at that beautiful facility behind us with the Christmas lights on it. Guys, I'm at Monticello, Arkansas, at the Arkansas Baptist Children's Home in Monticello, Arkansas. And tonight I've got a special guest. You see, I have 2 glasses of tea here. I'm not by myself. So let me introduce the director of this facility. He's not only the director of this facility, but he's also my brother-in-law, the Dr. Kelly Jones. So Kelly, come and join us. All right. Yeah, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
You
Kelly
doing
Jones.
Right? Doing good, doing good. It's raining tonight, man. Why'd you bring in the rain, man?
Well, I had nothing to do with that.
Right.
I would have not had it raining tonight.
It's pretty chilly. It's kind of rainy, but I appreciate you, man, for joining me tonight as we have this special episode right here on the campus of the Arkansas. Well, that's pretty. Did you put those lights up?
I can't take credit for that.
Okay.
There were some people that already did that before I got here.
Okay, that's pretty.
Well, we just turn them on every year and put them back up. But yeah, no, I can't take credit for it. But I did put some on my house.
Okay.
Right over there. But
over here to our left, probably
left.
the viewer's right.
Right. Yeah, correct.
Probably.
That's correct.
But,
yes.
This looks good. I was just wondering if maybe you'd come to my house and throw some up on my house, maybe.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen either if I had to do it either.
Yeah.
But Kel, look, I got our sweet tea here, so let's go ahead and do a little clinker. What happened? Oh, so your wife, my sister, decided to have plastic cups.
Thanks, Joan.
So that's a real good clinker clank right there.
Let's make our own noise.
Okay, clank. All right. That's good. What, did you make that?
I made that. Just like Mama makes. I like my sweet tea to be so sweet that it can double as pancake syrup.
Yeah, I'm telling you that.
That's how sweet I want my tea.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, Kelly, tonight we're going to talk about. I forgot my little clicker. So tonight I kind of did the topic for tonight to be home away from home.
Yeah.
Home away from home.
Oh, yeah.
But before we get to that, and again, we're here at the Arkansas, but Kelly, do you remember the first time I met you?
I do. It was in the TEL class, I think, wasn't it?
Was it the TEL class or was it upstairs?
No, it was downstairs in the TEL class.
Okay.
Which, you know what that stands for?
Tell me.
Timid elderly ladies.
Timid elderly ladies.
According to Jay Jones. I mean, that's what Jay would say.
The classroom at Second Baptist Church in West Helena, Arkansas.
Yeah, it really stands for Timothy, Eunice, and Lois. Just want to put that out there.
Is that really what it?
That's what it really stands for.
Because I'm going to tell you something. I never knew that.
That's what it means.
I never knew that. Well,
anyway,
back in the mid 90s?
No, it was like 91.
91.
1991.
That'd be early 90s then,
yes,
wouldn't
it? Would.
So back in the early 90s, I was youth pastor at the Second Baptist Church in West Helena, and I was actually going through the cards, Sunday school cards, and I came across Kelly Jones, and I went, I wonder who Kelly Jones is. And did you live on Kentucky Street?
I did.
All right. Yeah, 858 Kentucky?
858 Kentucky Street.
I can't believe I remember that, but I remember seeing that on the card. All right, and I remember going to the Sunday school class and going, "Hey, do y'all know this Kelly Jones? Does she live around here anymore?" She and everybody said, "No, she don't live here anymore. She moved away or something." Obviously, they didn't know what they were talking about, and I just kind of put that card away. And I didn't call it or anything, and lo and behold, one Sunday morning, you show up.
There I were.
And I said, "Hi, I'm Michael Davis," and you said,
"I'm Kelly Jones."
I'm Kelly Jones. And folks, I remembered that card immediately. I remember that card immediately. And Kelly and I began to build a relationship together, and boy, we had some good times.
Oh, it's one of the best. It was loads of fun.
And I remember, Kelly, we tried to, you wanted to go to Super Summer Arkansas with us.
I did.
But it was full up, and I called. I was on the steering committee, and back then I was able to call, and we were able to get you in. Talk to us about that.
Well, it was, when I first came to church there and met you, and we did hit it off real good, and I began to spend a lot more time at church then, and really wanted to follow the Lord. And there you were taking the youth group to camp, like you said, and I wanted to go, and but thankfully you got me in, and when I went, the whole week I was there, man, God was dealing with me because there was a lot of things I still had not gotten right with the Lord in my life. I was saved a long time before I even met you. I was saved when I was 12, and And but at that point, still, even though I was going to church, there were still some things I was dealing with that I was not just wasn't walking with the Lord in. And so anyway, the whole week I was there, God dealt with me. And I remember the very last night we were there on a Thursday night, I rededicated my life to the Lord and just said, "This is it. I'm not turning back," and went back. But so Super Summer, and that moment, of a week, that moment was just one of the most significant times in my life and my walk with the Lord. And so, man, very, very grateful that I got to go and that you were able to pull the strings you were able to pull to get me there. And something else, just to add this in, if I could.
Go ahead. Kind of scared.
No, it's a good thing. I hope Mama doesn't mind me saying this, but we were not able to afford for me to go. That was my family wasn't, and so my mom asked your dad, who was pastor at the time, if the church would allow me to go. And
somebody.
We got some. Like a serious moment right now, and our family is back here ruining it. Look at them. Look at them. I think that's my wife, my brother, my niece, my sister-in-law.
Right.
All those people.
Folks, this is not pre-recorded. This is not edited. This is live right here in Monticello, just like it is in Benton, Arkansas. So anyway, they're all a real serious moment, and they are doing their thing.
Let's get back to it, though.
Go ahead. Talk to me.
So we couldn't afford it.
You couldn't afford it.
And so Mom asked your dad, would the church go ahead and pay for me to be able to go, and she would pay back, whatever it cost. And your dad obviously said, sure, we'll do that. And Mom paid it back, at some point. But just and I, as a pastor, when I was a pastor, I'd used that illustration many times to encourage people to give, to support scholarship funds for kids to go to camp and everything, because you never know what God might do through one of those kids who couldn't pay to go to camp.
Cool.
And,
that's cool, man.
Not that I'm anything, but here I am because of what happened at that camp and what God allowed, what God did through that place I was able to go.
Exactly.
So anyway,
the thing I think about, Kelly, is it's just amazing to me how God orchestrated all those pieces and put them together to get you where you needed to be. So that you could do what he needed you to do.
Right.
And what's cool is now here we are. You've been in the pastorate, right? You've been pastor of churches, and now here you are. God's called you to be the director here at the Arkansas Baptist Children's Home in Monticello.
Yes.
So that's just awesome. So Kelly, talk to me a little bit about what's going on here in Monticello. Talk to us about the ministry here at the Arkansas Baptist Children's Home.
Well, being a pastor, I'd heard about this, the ministry of the Arkansas Baptist Children's Home for many years, and encouraged my churches that I pastored to support the ministry, the work that was done here, and I'd been here one time on a mission trip just to come do something.
Me and Daddy helped build some things up there
in the attic.
Up in the attic.
I remember you telling me about
Mm-hmm.
that, and so I'd known about it from a distance like that for a while, and anyway, but finally, I just felt being led in a new direction, and the Lord blessed me with the opportunity to come and serve here as a campus director. But this ministry here at the Children's Home has been right here is where it all started. Arkansas Baptist Children's Homes and Family Ministries is not just here in Monticello. It is a statewide ministry that includes not only the Children's Home, but there's a Boys Ranch, which is now the Arkansas Baptist Ranch, because they will now begin receiving girls there as well. But there's the ranch in Harrison, Arkansas. There are family homes across the state that help with single mothers who have children to get back on their feet, help them to establish some skills and school, save money, things like that, to help them down payments on vehicles and homes or apartments, things like that. And so this is not just a Monticello ministry. There's just great ministry going on all over the state, but it started here back in 1894 when the Hyatt family donated this property to Arkansas Baptist.
Isn't that Hyatt Road?
Yes.
Right out here?
Hyatt Road.
Okay.
And funny story, right over there in my backyard is a cemetery with a lot of the Hyatt family, not Miss Hyatt that donated the land, but just other people that, it's a sight to see. You should come see it. But it's right in my driveway. It's covered by a fence, but
if you ever come and visit the Children's Home, ask Kelly if you can see the graveyard.
Yeah,
it's right over
awesome.
there. Right over there.
But what we do here, that's the ministry statewide, and it is an awesome ministry that many folks in the state of Arkansas, many churches in Arkansas support generously through time and money and other things. But one of the neat things about this place is that we have the privilege of our vision for this ministry is that we help children and families in crisis. and you know as well as I do that there are tons of families and children that are in crisis in our state, in our country, and all over the world for that matter. But we have the blessing of receiving some of those children here on our campus. And this campus, a lot of people think that this administration building back here behind me, that's where my office is, and that's where our offices are, and we do a lot of things. We have a community room in there where we eat and do things like that. But that's not the home. A lot of people think that's the house where all the kids live.
Right.
But that's not it. We have several homes on our campus here where the kids live, and they live anywhere from 4 to 8 kids in a home with a set of house parents that take care of them and minister to them, and we care for these kids here. They're able to come, and they're here from DHS placements where DHS has to come in a home where either the parents are having some issues that they can't take care of their children like they should, or sometimes there are placements here we call private placements, and that's where a family just says, look, will you help me with my child? I can't take care of them. Can you take care of them? Because
Sweet.
Here, one of the things we have here and we provide for these kids is stability, structure, security. Many of them are in a home. Some of them are in a home where they have running water for the first time, maybe, or they have a stable diet where they're eating regular meals, a warm shower to take a shower in, a clean bed. We have these various homes around campus that we do that just here in the Monticello campus, and we do that similar thing in at the ranch and some other places.
And in each of these homes, you have house parents. You said
we have house parents
that take care of the kids. How many kids do you have on campus total?
We range anywhere from 30 to 35 kids. It fluctuates from time to time, week to week, when we receive new kids or other kids are released or go back home. Hopefully, because obviously our goal is to reunify these kids with their families and get them back where they need to be. But one other aspect I don't want to forget is the spiritual side of this. Is that these kids come here, and we don't shove Jesus down their throat, but we create an atmosphere here where they know why we exist and what our motivation is in loving on them is to love them as God would love them, as Christ would love them, and provide that kind of environment for them. So we do devotions with our kids at night and or whenever the house parents set it up, and take them to church. I don't force them to do those kinds of things, but we as a home, we go to church and participate in our local church here in Monticello, and so it's just a great environment. And I know we got other things we got to talk about too, but I could talk all day about this place.
I love it. I love it. And what I want us to get is, don't we have a special guest to join us?
We do.
Get him in here.
I talked about house parents, some of the house parents that we have, and it just so happens, Mike, that there is a house parent right over here freezing.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious.
Right here.
Right here. And let's bring him in.
Let's bring him in.
Come on in, sir. Sir, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your microphone on?
It is.
Okay, good. I just couldn't hear you. No, I'm just kidding. This is one of our house parents here at the Arkansas Baptist Home for Children. This is Jeremie Bartels. And Jeremie, wait a minute. Yeah.
Jeremie, we got to get you some tea here. All right.
I got it in. Let's clinker.
We got to clear.
Let's do a triple.
You got to make a noise though, because these are plastic cups.
Yeah. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Clink.
Here's to you.
That's a Friday in the driveway tradition.
You want some pancakes to go with that?
Diabetes.
You got diabetes already.
Yeah.
Did you bring your socks?
No, I'm sockless. I left my orthos at home.
December, raining and cold, and he's wearing shorts and no socks.
Folks, we're cold. Let me introduce you to Jeremie Bartels. And Jeremie is one of our house parents here. He and his wife Becca are both house parents here, just in a cottage right over to my left, a family home to my left. And Jeremie's been here. Jeremie, let me just ask you some questions. First of all, tell me how you got here to be a house parent in this Monticello, Arkansas children's home.
Me and my wife were living in Kentucky. We'd gotten married, and about 3 years later, we decided we wanted to start fostering. My wife had some issues with pregnancies and miscarriages, and we just felt like God was calling us to do something more, to kind of fill that void. The county that we were in had 57 children needing foster parents, foster placements, and there were 2 homes fostering in our county. And so we felt that there was a need to be met, and so we went, did all the classes, did everything we were required to do, and for circumstances unknown, we were not allowed to have children because they lost the paperwork the first time, and the second time the lady said that There was an issue at the federal side where the background checks, the paper wasn't right. But my mother-in-law called and said, hey, that the Arkansas Baptist Children's Home is looking for house parents, and we applied, and we were called down for an interview, and God just brought it all together. We ended up getting out of our lease, sold my truck, sold everything we needed to, and moved down here 2 weeks later, and that was a year and 7 months ago, and God has just been blessing ever since.
Amen. That's
Cool.
Awesome. Well,
I'm sorry you had to sell your truck, man. I'm afraid I'd have to bring it with me.
I kind of wish I had. But it is what it is.
we've got one in the field out there. He's been eyeing.
Oh, okay.
It's not running right at the moment, but he likes it. Well, Jeremie, tell me, as a house parent, what are some of the things? I want to start with if you want to call it the bad. What
Sure.
are some of the challenges that you face as being a house parent here? What are some of the things that you would say this is one of the greatest challenges we face in trying to do our job here and do what we do?
The greatest challenge probably for me would be that no matter how many needs we meet, no matter how many times we're up late with the children or we're doing whatever we want to do, they're more excited to go back into the negative environment that they were in than they are to be here and to be nurtured and to help. And probably the second hardest is just watching them leave. Because, we live with these kids. They're wonderful kids. God has blessed us with the opportunity to be with them. But then just allowing them to leave is difficult because there's guaranteed safety here. And sometimes there isn't when they leave. And I think that's difficult.
Yeah, that's hard. That's gotta
And
be hard.
I think if you can tell me if you agree with this or not. I think it's strange how these kids almost long for that chaotic atmosphere that they were in because they felt a little bit of security, I guess,
You're right,
or
yeah.
that's the normal part of their life. And one of the things we try to do here is to help them see how life ought to be, and
Right.
and to show them that other side of it. And they I know you and I have dealt with a lot of kids here just in the 5 months I've been here that some of these kids almost just reject the love that we might give them. If they sense they're getting close to you, they'll begin to do things to kind of push you away. And
Right.
that's one of the strange things I've found as we as we do what we do here. But what would you say? That's one of the challenges. What about one of the rewards? What would you say? This is one of the things that when this happens or when this did happen, if you can share, obviously a story anonymously if you can. Here's a moment, or here's some of the things that happens that I really am thankful I'm here, and this really is something I love about what we do here.
Yeah, sure. Late last year, we had a girl come in. She had a sister that went to another house, but in our house, we had a young lady come in, and she dropped off her stuff, and I gave her a snack, and then I showed her to her room. And she walked in her room, and the first thing she said, is this mine? And I said, yeah. And she walked over to the dresser. Is this mine? And I said, yeah. And everything in the room, she wanted to know if that was hers. I said, yeah. She said, is this my bathroom? I said, yeah. You don't have to share it with anybody. That's your own shower. It's everything. She went and she touched the bed, and she said, this is soft. I said, yeah. She said, is this mine? I said, that's yours. It's all yours. And she laid on the bed and kissed it and cried and just cried and cried. She said she'd never slept on anything other than the ground. And
Wow.
she took an hour and a half shower that night because she'd never been in a shower before. She came out and she was so excited. She didn't want to get out of bed the next morning. And it's just things like that repeatedly happen, where things that we take for granted are just absolutely the best things ever. We have a girl that had come in a while back that had never seen toilet paper in her life.
Bless her heart.
And that causes a struggle.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, just being able to provide basic needs to these kids it's a blessing. And the things that we take for granted, and it just gives you a different viewpoint of who we are and why we do what we do.
Sure.
Yeah. And my job as a director, I think it's difficult at times because there are decisions that I'm looked to make. When kids are released, it always comes through me
Right.
to make those decisions, and we want to do our best to keep kids here, but even though that's a difficult job, and all that my job entails, I'm so appreciative of people like Jeremy, because we have house parents here and relief house parents who come in the way we do here. Jeremy and his wife will work 10 days straight, and then they're off 4 days, and we have another set of house parents that are relief parents that will relieve them those 4 days, and then they'll come back on. And the job that they do, they spend the night with these kids, and they deal with issues with the kids, and it's not always bad, but there are moments where it's just a struggle,
Right.
and they deal with that, and they do it over and over again, and yet they're still here. they stay here, and they do it. And the job that they do is difficult, and I really appreciate all that they do to
Right.
love on these kids and do the job that they do. And it is often maybe a thankless job in some ways.
Yeah.
But I appreciate Jeremy and Becca and the other house parents we have around here and
Right.
what they do. And it's just it's a great ministry.
Great
a
ministry.
Great ministry.
And speaking of that, Kelly, when you talk about a great ministry, talk to us about those of us that are watching, and myself. But what can we do, Jeremy? What can we do to help you guys? I mean, do y'all take donations? Do you need sheets, or what is it that you need?
Jeremy, go ahead.
We're always taking donations. We have a clothes closet that the kids have access to, so anything that you bring here we use. I would say the greatest things that we would desire would be prayer, because like he said, this job is difficult. It's the greatest job in the world, but that doesn't make it easy. And the second thing would just be time. If you have the opportunity to come sit with the kids, that's all they want. They don't need you to come and put on a show. They want your time, your attention, and to know that there's someone other than us that cares. But yeah, that would be my suggestions.
Yeah, and we, all across the state of Arkansas, there are tons of churches that plug in and help in many ways, and help with Christmas, help with the other items like Jeremy's talking about, clothes and experiences. I mean, there are some churches that will come and take the kids out on the river nearby and take them kayaking and canoeing and do things with them, and they love those kinds of moments, and so we need those kinds of ways to be involved. Prayer, as Jeremy said, praying for this ministry, praying for what we do. Obviously, financially, this is an expensive ministry, and what we do here doesn't just happen without the financial leg of it, and so we can use that. And I think just there may be some folks out there that might be sensing like Jeremy and Becca did. Hey, God's calling me to be involved in this ministry even more than I am. And we don't have time, obviously, because I know we're already long.
We're a little bit longer than normal, but it's good stuff.
But story after story we tell you about every house parent in this place of what they, the call that they felt to come here. Because, again, with ministry in general, you don't do it for the money. Right. You do it. But we're like rich, aren't we, Jeremy?
Absolutely.
My goodness.
Rolling
in the dough. That's a joke, people. Chill out. No.
That's why I'm wearing socks.
Yeah, that's why he doesn't have socks on. But it's a calling, Mike. Right. It's a calling. And for me, even being here and no longer being a pastor and being what I was doing, I feel like God called me here. And I'm glad I'm here. And I'm thankful for what we're doing. What we're able to see God do through here.
Well, I appreciate you guys being with me tonight, and folks, if you're out there watching, if you want to, look them up, the Arkansas Baptist Children's Home in Monticello. I'm going to put their information on my YouTube version of this program. So, but reach out, and maybe God is tugging on your heartstrings as God has called these men to serve here. That maybe God is calling you to help them serve in some way. One passage of scripture I want to read as we close, guys, and that's what Psalms 127 and verse 3 says. And it says that children are a heritage from the Lord. The fruit of the womb, a reward. So children, these children who are here, these children are a heritage. They are a gift from God. And I just want to say thank you guys for loving on them. They come from situations where they maybe haven't felt that love, and they come here and they see that you love them, and then preferably, get that, preferably,
I see what
they listen to you when you talk to them about that God loves them.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Well, guys, that's all the time you have.
I have one more thing.
Okay, hurry.
One more thing. Yes, I know. I know. One more thing. Ways that people can help us is to work us out of a job. That's why I've gone and spoke with churches and associations recently, and I told them, work us out of a job. I wish that we didn't have to be here, that families were intact like they're supposed to be, and we didn't have to be here. And the way we do that is that churches, individuals, believers, go after families. And first of all, take care of your own family.
Right.
Get your own marriage where it needs to be. Take care of your children like parents ought to take care of their children. And after you get yourself, or even while you're getting yourself right, go after other families that you know are in trouble and need to be made right, that are hooked on drugs or just making poor choices, neglecting their children. Go after those and work us out of a job.
I love it.
That's one way we can help.
But I'm glad that you guys are here. I really am. I'm glad that you do what you do. And it's awesome. So guys, thanks for joining us tonight here on Friday in the Driveway. We're Friday in the Driveway on the road in Monticello at the Arkansas Baptist Children's Home. Hey, listen, if you want to watch past episodes of Friday in the Driveway, you can do that on YouTube. All right, go to YouTube and search for Friday in the Driveway. Or you can visit my ministry website at michaelrdavisministries.yolasite.com. That's michaelrdavisministries.yolasite.com.
Keep Joan there, right there.
And these are my sisters, Karen and Joan.
We weren't invited on the show.
So they're crashing the party tonight here at the end, and they just waited. They just waited till so they could come. Oh, be still, little one. Okay. Mary, this is Brooklyn and Mary Joy, my nieces. So guys, let's say good night. Thanks for joining us here on Friday in the Driveway. All right. Good night.